Well, ladies and gentlemen, now it comes to the keynote speech will be delivered by the Director General Asian Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Please welcome His Excellency Mr. Jose Tavares. The time is yours, Mr. Jose.
Thank you very much, Ibu Sarah Mariati. Let me start by saying that Patito Loho, CEO of Tender Indonesia, also the Secretary of the ASEAN Superbloc Forum. Thank you for this wonderful initiative and having us all here. I would like to also acknowledge the Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN for Community and Corporate Affairs, Ambassador Michael Tene. Ambassadors, permanent representatives of ASEAN member states. I recognize the Ambassador of the Philippines, His Excellency Lee Hian Wee. Distinguished speakers, Mr. Florentino Dulalia, the World President of the International Real Estate Federation, Pas Sulaiman Sumawinata, the President of the International Real Estate Federation for Asia and the Pacific, Pak Toto Lucida, the Chairman of Real Estate Indonesia, Pak Ali Tranghanda, Indonesia Property Watch, Mr. Lucas Wong, the Chairman of the Association of Real Estate Broker Indonesia, leaders of business associations and distinguished participants. Good afternoon. May God bless us all with good health in this time of pandemic. I am really pleased to see all participants across ASEAN region, despite the fact that we are doing this through virtual format. I wish to begin by conveying my appreciation once again to the organizers of this webinar, namely Tender Indonesia, Amarta Multi Synergy, and Indonesia Property Watch, for this opportunity for myself to say a few words with the topic resilient drives recovery. Now, I believe that all participants are eager to find ways to fortify national and regional resiliency in this time of crisis and explore opportunities to promote cooperation, particularly in the real estate sector. Distinguished participants, over the last 50 years, as already been mentioned by Pak Loho as well as Ibu Sarah as well, excuse me, that over the last 50 years, ASEAN has demonstrated its ability in contributing to peace and stability. This is very important because this is a prerequisite for sustainable development and prosperity in the region to flourish. ASEAN has traversed numerous challenges ranging from natural disasters like as big as tsunami, for example, financial crisis, as we know, the Asian financial crisis, the social and political turmoil throughout our region. Every now and then we experience this kind of crisis. Now, in the face of such crisis, ASEAN continues to transform itself, adjust and adapt to the situation. And as a result, ASEAN continues to thrive in difficult circumstances. This is what we call it resiliency. Now, today, ASEAN is the 6th largest economy in the world with a GDP of $3 trillion. So the 6th largest economy, and it predicted actually to be even more than that, will be 4 or some in a few years to come. Now, this has contributed to the increase of ASEAN GDP. Right now, it's around $4,600. Now, ASEAN has grown in terms of trade. ASEAN's trade in goods in 2018 grew by 2.8 trillion US dollars. Intra-ASEAN trade was accounted 23% of the total trade, which is the equivalent of 650 billion US dollars. So this is intra-trade. In terms of investment, the total foreign direct investment inflow into ASEAN was 154.7 billion US dollars in 2018. Now, comprising of extra ASEAN investment, which is 130 billion US dollars, and intra-ASEAN investment among ASEAN countries is 24.5 billion US dollars. Now, according to the ASEAN Secretariat database, the real estate sector accounted for 8.4% of the total foreign direct investment, which is around 13 billion US dollars of foreign direct investment inflows for real estate sector. So this is not small. It's a huge. While there is more opportunity for excellencies, distinguished business leaders to tap into this great potential. Now, on the sector of tourism, for example, intra-ASEAN tourism was nearly 50 million annually, only around 10 countries. Take, for example, 2018, it was 49,692,000 visitors among 10 countries of ASEAN. It is an enormous figure. So I would like to point out that ASEAN has become a very attractive investment destination, engine of economic growth, a vibrant economic powerhouse in our region, and also a very prospective tourist destinations. Now, propelled by these dynamic economic activities, a significant portion of the middle class has emerged steadily among the 650 million population of ASEAN right now. And these flows in consonant, these go hands in hand with the increasing demand for more amenities and facilities, including housing, real estates, and super blocks. So the opportunity is there, the demand is there. So we have also adopted the ASEAN Smart Cities Framework, which serves as a guide for smart cities development in ASEAN member states. Health and well-being and infrastructure are some of the focus areas. A smart city is aiming at having access to quality goods and services, social infrastructure such as housing, including smart buildings and construction. Now, distinguished participants, unfortunately, as already been mentioned also, this upward trend of progress has been somewhat disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Lockdowns, partial lockdowns, social distancing have serious economic and social impacts. Social ramifications. Key sectors have been severely affected, namely travel and tourism, services sector, business operation, due to the disruption of the global and regional supply chains. Unemployment increases, and with potential social problems that may follow. The International Monetary Fund, in its World Economic Outlook update last month, described the current situation as a crisis like no other, an uncertain recovery. So where it predicts economies globally are experiencing minus growth, including ASEAN member states this year in 2020. Across the region, ASEAN member states has taken various measures and stimulus packages to curb the pandemic as well as mitigate socio-economic impact. I'll go through this very briefly. At the regional level, ASEAN has adopted the Hanoi Plan of Action on strengthening ASEAN economic cooperation and supply chain connectivity in response to COVID-19. ASEAN has embarked on the deliberation of ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. So now this is in process. It covers quite a large scope of how we can recover. And also ASEAN is in a very initial stage, initiated by Indonesia, to deliberating an ASEAN travel corridor arrangement, while strictly observe health protocols to facilitate essential business travels in order to gradually regain momentum for business activities, and also to prevent deeper economic downturn. Now, ASEAN is in the process of negotiating a mutual recognition arrangement by ASEAN Building and Construction Working Group. The working group aims at, among others, to exchange information on standards, regulations, procedures, and mandatory requirements, and an engagement with relevant private sector organizations in relation to standards and conformance in buildings and construction sector. Therefore, this ASEAN Superblock Forum webinar is of crucial importance for the entrepreneurs in the real estate sector to explore opportunities and expand their business throughout the region, across the region. Finally, let me conclude by saying that the initiative for the ASEAN Real Estate Forum to be registered as an entity related to ASEAN is a positive and smart move. This will help to increase the profile in advocating business in this sector throughout our region. At the meantime, the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Arrangement on building and construction materials planned to be completed this year, actually, hopefully it does not be postponed due to the COVID-19. This will give further impetus to the undertakings that distinguished excellencies participants have already done. So I'm confident that this forum will come up with valuable insights to enhance our collaboration in real estate sector. So I wish you all a fruitful discussion. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jose Tavares, for the speech.